All right, welcome back into Market Day Report. I am Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in all day today. Hopefully you've been with us. If you haven't, when you just turned this now, that's great too. But it's the last day of April. But this is not the last day we're going to last time we're going to see each other. You're going to stick around, right? Same bad time, same bad channel. Don't move that dial because the next show after this, in about 15 minutes, is the Cow Guy Close. We got 3 great guests and some great subjects to talk about. There's a lot out there going on. You don't want to miss it. But if for some reason you get pulled away from some emergency at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern on Rural Radio, Sirius 1XM, Sirius Channel 147, you get to see it again, or at least listen to it again. We'll be on the radio. And if you missed that, we'll be on at 2 a.m. Central, 3 a.m. Eastern as well. That's Sirius XM Rural Radio, Channel 147. All right, so we've got 3 different ways to get a hold of the show. We'd love to have you. If you can't do that, DVR it because the numbers are looking pretty good. We love having you guys, and it's been a lot of fun. So tune us in. Let's go to our markets here and see how we're going to be closing out the day. I'll bring up a corn board. We were off about between 3 and 4 cents the last time we visited. We're still off about 3. We can go to the 2 3/4 cents lower now on that July board to 446.5. 2 cents off the low of a 5.5 cent range. Right? That's all you need to know. D sets down 3.5 cents to 469.25. We're about 1 3/4 cents off of the low, and we've had a decent 6 cent range. So there you go. That's all you need to know in corn. That's where we've been pretty much all day, maybe a little lower. How about beans? Well, they're 18 1/4 cents lower in July, 11.63 3/4. That's 5 cents off the low, but we're still 20 cents from the high. How about that? You go out to the no, that's the new crop, 17 3/4 cents lower there. 11.60 1/4 is last, so that's about 4 1/4 cents off the low of the day, but we're still 19 cents from the high. So that'll give you an idea in your mind about how beans have been trading. Let's go to the wheat in Chicago. Chicago wheat. That July board's down 4 1/4 cents to 604 1/4. That's almost a dime off the lows. We're 9 cents, just under 8 3/4 cents off the lows of the day, and only about what I'm going to call that 2.5 cents, 2 3/4 cents from the high. So maybe making a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a comeback here. We did have obviously a gap lower. So let's take a look at the D suite in Chicago, 5.5 cents lower there. 649.5 is last. Let's move right along from Chicago to the hard red. This is Kansas City. July is down 12 3/4 cents to 637 3/4, 4 3/4 cents off the low of the day, and about 13.5 cents off the high. Dees, well, that's 11.5 cents lower to a 670, which is 5.5 cents from the low. And let's see, I'm 11 1/4 cents from the high. All right, so you kind of get an idea about where that's trading. That's the hard red. Let's go to the spring wheat in Minneapolis. We're just a 0.5 cent lower now in July. 707 1/4 is last, 0.5 cent off the high of the day. So the high of the day was unchanged. All right. D's spring wheat in Minneapolis, 1 1/4 lower to 725 3/4. That's just a tick from the high there. Real quick, this is a turn your head and hold your nose one. 300 points lower in that July cotton to 78.52. D's is down 133 points to 76.92. Let's bring in our next guest analyst. Got about a minute, Ted. Had to do a shameless plug for the old Cow Guy Close. What are your thoughts here about what's been going on?
Well, first of all, Scott, you made the Batman reference, and I don't know if you know this or not, but there was a meme out there that has a Batman reference to it that you're involved in. Your likeness with.
Yes, I'm very aware. Believe me, yes, I am. Gotham City, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay. Soybeans under quite a bit of pressure, and my immediate, thought this morning was, oh, did the Argentinians end their strike already? That's not the case, at least from what I can tell. This is all about crop progress yesterday. We are really rolling along with soybean planting. And there's been a lot of talk about planting delays and, how we might not get this crop in 2019. But, sitting at 27% planted in corn and 18% planted in beans, it's kind of hard to fathom that at the moment. It's not a similar looking weather forecast, in my opinion. Yes, there is rain in that forecast, but I think there will be windows of opportunity to get planted. And I think the soybeans in particular, are feeling that. I think the risk that we're running at the moment is that we might not get quite all of the corn acres in, even though I do believe there were more corn acres than what we saw on the intentions report. But the bean acres would probably get in and might actually increase. So I think that's kind of what the beans are feeling today. Also, some more concerns about the Chinese economy, and then soybean oil breaking out into new contract lows. So all that together has us heavy, has us on the defensive. Price action in corn, I got to say, it doesn't seem terrible. It seems very reluctant to want to go lower. Even with wheat lower earlier this morning, as you pointed out, it's bounced off the lows a bit. And soybeans being down as much as they were. Corn just doesn't feel like it wants to give it up quite yet. So we are still looking at corn and a little bit worried about those planting delays.
Yeah, the planting delays did so much. There was so much talk about it yesterday, because obviously before the numbers came out, that somebody referenced 1993 when the Mississippi River flooded. So I haven't heard about that one in a long time. And that is 31 years ago. All right, stay right there. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to go back and talk more with Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge in Chicago. Be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's get to some of these livestock quotes. We'll get back to our guest analyst, Ted Seifried. Live cattle off about $2.50 across the board. June's off $2.35 to $174.80. We're $2.95 lower in the October to $176.82. Feeder cattle, well, live cattle are lower. Feeder cattle are lower as well. August off $4.47 to $255.15. And we got October off $4.62 to $256.37. Some big ranges over there too. Let's take a look at lean hogs. We'll get back to our analyst. They're off 30 cents in June. 102.17 is last there. And we're off 30 cents in October to 85.75. All right, let's bring back in Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge. Ted, what do you got for us? What are your thoughts here about livestock?
Well, the hogs are just kind of sitting there with their bowl of popcorn, watching all the fireworks happen everywhere else, it seems. It's the cattle complex. And for feeder cattle to be down as much as they are, even with corn down, is really kind of disconcerting. It doesn't look good. We ran into some very key overhead resistance in the last couple of days. We're pulling back from it. You can expect a little bit of a pullback, but this is kind of an epic failure. So it's not leaving a very good look on the chart in feeders as we get into the close right now. So, I mean, it looks likely we're likely going to close here, right? So that's not a good look. It feels like we're not done with the pressure in the cattle complex. Certainly, and I hesitate to even mention it, but we're certainly still worried about the avian flu and how that affects and if it's going to be prevalent in the beef cattle herd or not. So there's a lot of question marks and what ifs and so on and so forth. And also there's some more concerns about consumer demand again at this point. So put all that together, bigger down day, not doing good things on a chart, especially the feeder cattle. And I hate to say it, but feeders are the leaders. That's the saying we used to have on the floor, huh?
Yep, you're right.
So, yeah, it's not a great day. Not really enjoying watching that.
All right. Well, thank you anyway. Good stuff. Great content as usual. Thank you very much, Ted. Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge. He's in Chicago. We're in Nashville. I'll hand it back over to you one more time.
One last time. Going to look forward to that close and everything you're covering at the Cow Guy close, top of the hour.